We've much to examine.
There is much to be done. Victory to the living.
That's your least favorite chore? I don't even know what it is.
I understand that your mother is quite the scholar, Tash.
Yep.
It must have been wonderful growing up learning from her.
Yeah, it was great.
Ready for a fight? Here comes trouble. You got it.
Tash has them now! The Good air! You're firing at us! Ready and waiting! Excellent. All safe? Thank you again for coming. My duties include tending to these rites of remembrance. Excellent. Manfred found his way down. Very good, Manfred.
He sounds excited.
I thought we'd start the rites here. A tableau of the dead, commissioned 173 years ago. These lives were flickers against the ages, precious, fragile, and finite. Now they serve as a warning. Don't linger overlong in the gloom. Live with grace and fervor while you may.
No one's gonna seize the day for you.
Just so. That one's livelier. Here. Who were you when you breathed above?
This body was a tailor's, a mother's. She laughed and taught and wove the robes kings wore when they were crowned.
Tja. Someone must realign her thoracic vertebrae. I hope the novices are inspecting the displays.
Seems disrespectful to abandon something you built.
Precisely. No wonder there's been an uptick in hauntings.
Wait, what?
Let's continue.
So what now?
We light candles in remembrance of the dead. Would you care to light the candle, Rook? Look at this. The last tomb of the Tannhausens. A very influential family in the Storm Age.
We broke the bones of dragons.
A posthumous motto. Their last heir met his match against a Highland Ravager.
Death by dragon? I'm surprised there was enough to bury.
Do you know, I never expected that the door we found back in the Vault of the Beloved would lead here.
So the necropolis actually shuffles its rooms around?
From time to time. Very unlikely to happen while we're inside a chamber. Could you light the next candle? Aha! One of my favorite flowers! A variegated weeping widower.
You know your plants.
Oh, alchemy is my hobby. It's a break from teaching spirit calling and theoretical applied metaphysics.
Bet you love some of the books the Shadow Dragons, liberated from a few magisters.
This way, Rook.
You were right about the gardens being peaceful.
The necropolis has its dangers, but these places are a refuge for the dead.
How many people are buried here anyway?
Excellent question. We rarely should take a new census. You'll need to light these candles as well. Open your hearts to the final day, companion of all the ages. I was pleasantly surprised by your respect for our undead tableau earlier, Rook. I'm beginning to think people outside Navarra find the necropolis a little unnerving.
Shadow dragons are used to weird architecture. More skulls here, though.
The spirits gather. Only a few more candles. Follow me. Ah, look here.
This one's all yours, Emmerich.
Certainly. We're also enjoying the gardens, but with one last ritual ahead. On your way, my friend.
Spirits really are your specialty.
I've always had a rapport with them. Even as a child, they were my companions.
After you started training here?
After I was orphaned.
Oh,
A collapsed building, swift deaths. After the funeral, the Watchers took me in.
belated condolences, if that's worth anything.
Always. We move on, as we must, but those long nights linger about the shadows.
How did you deal with it?
I didn't. When I first arrived here, I was terrified.
And you still join the Watchers?
They're what saved me. Come, the next set of graves lies ahead. Please, light the next candles if you would. There's much to recommend about the rhythm of a ceremony. It eases our worst hours. As a boy, the Watcher's rituals were exactly what I needed to steady my days with purpose.
And some death magic?
Well, every young mage needs a speciality. All this pageantry, this magnificent gloom and its rites, I ask you, Rook, what is it for?
It's gotta be the living, right?
Yes, exactly. This place is an abundance of history, of magic, of memories. The Watchers preserve it so the living may draw comfort from those who've gone before. We must get to the candle, please, Manfred.
You told Harding that Manfred used to be a wisp until you gave him a body.
Yes, he's taken so well to it, haven't you, Manfred? Here are the last candles you'll need to light. Once you're ready, we'll need to ring the bell. Let the rites be acknowledged. Our bonds seen and sealed. We honor the listening spirits.
Hail from the abyss.
We witness, good Watcher, faith kept in all our paths.
What was,
The necropolis hosts many spirits. We thank these guardians for their protection and friendship. We'll need to ring the bell once more to close out the departing ceremony.
So, you were really afraid of this place as a child?
It wasn't the necropolis itself, but what was draped around it. Have you ever been frightened by the thought of dying, Rook?
It's part of life.
I wish I'd had your equanimity when I was younger. That's when I discovered I possess a great terror of dying. It goes beyond dread. Can't be reasoned with or soothed over. It comes without warning. In the dead of night, in sunlit streets, a raw, strangling fear struck somewhere deep past the heart.
That's an issue for a necromancer.
Oddly, I discovered I wasn't alone. I debated this fear with friends. I argued with teachers. Yet, it lingered. Manfred's right. That's maudlin enough. There are struggles, but a watcher should always find peace amongst the graves. And what sort of host would I be if we didn't end with some light refreshment?
We're having tea. Here. By the dead.
Tranquility itself. Oh, if you prefer your tea sweet, Manfred loves using the sugar tongs.
the city.
Only a handful?
I heard they feared the Blight in...
Rook, Viago and I are visiting the new memorial. For those we've recently lost.
After all you have done, you are most welcome to join us.
Thank you.
You're not wrong.
We are not here to be formal. There have been enough funerals.
Did you know? I was just turning to say something to Air the other day. Before I remembered, she was no longer there.
Fletcher.
I didn't know Chance for long, but he seemed like a good man.
Terrible taste in furniture. He always smothered everything in gold. I'll miss hearing him complaining that I complain about it.
The diamond, the entire city feels so empty. I wonder if it will ever not feel that way.
I'm only a visitor, but I don't think Treviso will stay down for long.
I'm told we are a charmingly stubborn people.
The Blight, that is the problem. But you did fight it back. If we did it once, we can do it again.
Let's hope there is something in that.
When did you get here?
A while ago. I was reading the letters. Messages for loved ones. Prayers to the Maker. A few letters are to people I would have liked to know again.
Who else did you lose in Treviso? Other crows?
A few. Not all were crows. Some just lived daily lives in the city. Local merchants, people who put out the morning coffee as we headed to bed. After the ossuary, I wanted to walk by and see them again. As if I could return to where I left off.
All these words for the dead. Do you believe anyone or anything sees them?
After I was captured by the Venectori, I would have said no. How could the Maker or any power permit what happened in that place? After all we have seen, I still don't know who, if anyone, hears our cries. But now, I hope they do.
Is there anything else we should say?
I did mention this isn't formal.
But we should do something.
A toast, then. Something we promise the dead we will think about over drinks to come.
The time they bought us. The world will build with it.
Neither will go to waste.
The crows rule Antiva, and tonight we mourn with her. There's an interesting letter there, Rook.
An art merchant has information on the Antam?
Mistress Trella would not waste our time.
We are stretched thin. Too many compatriots lost to the Blight, or what crawls out of it. Meet with Mistress Trella. Find out what the Antam are up to.
I think that art merchant with information on the Antom lives near here. Hello? Are you all right?
Then the brutes left to get more reinforcements against a single woman. Would you be a dear and clear away all the refuse by the door?
Antom did this to scare somebody who sells paintings?
Done.
I unlocked the door. Come in, please. My saviors, welcome!
Viago said you had information on the Antom. Are they after you?
They barricaded me in and said I would starve unless I handed over the contents of my gallery. Lately, they've been taking paintings, sculptures, all sorts of treasures. And to think I overheard someone in the market yesterday bragging about dealing with the atrocious brutes. The market master might know more about what those dreadful Antom are up to. I'm in your debt. Please look around. I hope dear Viago can make next week's exhibition. Oh, light has changed the skyline completely. I've heard dreadful little things.
All right. We should talk to the market.
Hello? This might sound strange, but I was told you might know about Antom stealing paintings.
It's bad for business. And somebody here knows something. Everyone notices the master of the market. But you, stay hidden. Listen near the stalls. You might learn something about our Antom art collectors.
Let's listen carefully around the market. Don't want to scare anyone off.
Hardly got any sleep last night. Just the thought of living next to the Blight.
Makes you sick, doesn't it?
I prefer the company of your brother. His stare is less piercing and his disgust less palpable.
Barely any customers today.
It's a wonder anyone still lives in the city, the way it is now.
mean, Antam, I didn't think they went in for things like fancy paintings.
I wouldn't know anything about... Well, that would explain the Antam who came by not an hour ago. They took my best sculpts without paying.
Huh. Right here?
Oh, yes. I did hear they've been piling up stolen goods in a camp in the Drowned district.
If you don't trust me, why don't you...
We're close to that camp where the Antam took that merchant's stolen sculptures. Okay, let's look around for that stolen art, or any sign of what the Antam are doing with it. Nothing here.
Don't see anything. No paints, none of that fancy polish they use on sculptures.
Still nothing. I don't see anything that merchant in the market was talking about. No stolen art. We should go back and talk to him.
Trouble coming our way. Who wants some?
Point hit Rook. There we go.
Ready for a fight?
Nice one, Tosh.
Take the last blow.
Honestly, the Blight might be a good thing for this city. Now everyone will have to pull together.
That merchant who said the Antom stole his artwork? He's with the Venatori. I'll bet he caught us listening in.
And so he purposefully sent us off on a wild chase.
The note said the Antom are trading the art to Venatori collectors in exchange for rare magical components. The note doesn't say what the components are for, but the meeting location is a different Antom camp in the center of the city. Let's head there and figure out what they're working on with the Venatori.